My name is Wanda Guider. I'm requesting an investigation into judicial misconduct in the state of Illinois, Cook County, with the Domestic Relation Division Trial Court in the Office of the Public Guardian. I went to court back in 2004 for my, I went to court in 2009 for my then 4-year-old daughter at the time. I didn't even go to family court. I went to another court. I went to get an order of protection against her father. Not that her father was the abuser. It was because they told me that the child who abused my daughter was under the age of 12, and I will have to file an order of protection against the dad. And so I did that. But my case wound up in family court. I was not going to court for custody. I was not trying to seek full custody of my daughter. I just wanted protection of my 4-year-old daughter at the time. My daughter told me when she was on a trip with her dad and his family that she didn't say it, she demonstrated what happened to her. She just asked me because this have always been me and my daughter. She demonstrated to me, she said, "Mommy, can I talk to you?" And I'm just thinking like, okay, because we always talk. And she said that the young boy hurt her. And I don't want to use his name because he's a minor. But she said, "Mommy, he hurt me." And so I'm thinking as a mother, he probably pushed her or shoved her because that's what kids do. But when my daughter stood up and demonstrated to me what this young boy did to her, I literally almost passed out. I stopped talking to her and I wanted her to talk to her godmother. I was at her house at the time. So I told her to speak to my daughter, and she told my daughter, they started talking. So my daughter explained to her what happened to her. And she got more out of her than I did because I didn't want her to see me upset or cry. Then the next thing, she will never tell me if something bad happened to her. So I excused myself and I went out and I called my attorney. I told my attorney what my daughter said. So she told me to call the doctor, which I did, her pediatrician. I called the doctor, but the doctor wasn't in at the time. So the next day, I made an appointment for my daughter to see the doctor. She told me to get her in right away. So I took my daughter to her pediatrician. The pediatrician talked to my daughter. She got more out of her than I did. My daughter explained to her what happened, what this young boy did to her. So the pediatrician ordered me to go to a specialist to make sure that she wasn't broken down in her private part. So I did that. Her doctor said it was abuse. The pediatrician said, the specialist also said it was abuse. I called her father and I asked him to come over and, talk to his daughter because I wasn't trying to go to court because I know she's a child and the boy was a child. I just wanted to fix this situation between us. The dad is a Chicago police officer. This was a Sunday when I told him about the situation. He said he was coming right over. He never showed up. The next day, which was Monday, he never showed up. Tuesday, I called. He said he was coming, but he never showed up. He didn't come until the following Monday, and he woke me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then he talked to our daughter. He made me wake her up, bring her outside, and he asked her, and my daughter told him exactly what happened, the same thing she had been telling me, the doctor, the detectives, what happened to her. And he immediately started drilling her like she was not his daughter as a police officer. And she started crying, so I made her go into the house. The next thing I know, the detective had us to go to another place where they interviewed my daughter. And we was there behind a glass that she couldn't see us. And they talked to her. And they came back and told me and the father, yes, it did happen. Only thing I could tell you is to keep the child away from the minor child. It wasn't me that was taking my daughter around the minor child. It was her father because that was his girlfriend's son at the time. So he kept taking my daughter around this little boy, and my daughter was still getting hurt. So that's why I went to court to get an order of protection against him. My case wound up in family court, and everybody kept saying, "How did your case wind up in family court?" I don't know. I'm thinking if it's a criminal, it should be in criminal court. So I went to court, showed the judge everything that the doctor said. The judge gave the father, said he couldn't be around the daughter. He gave him 10 days, and then he hired a lawyer. His lawyer came in, and they put this GAL over my daughter. I never knew what a GAL was. I just thought these were some people that's going to help. That's not so. Immediately when the GAL got on the case, he had me bring my daughter into the office, which I did. he was really nasty, and I didn't understand. Only thing I knew, they said that this person was supposed to be for the child, not the parents. But this guy was really nasty to me. So I made a complaint. And why did I do that? It went downhill. We go to court. The judge, on the direction of the GAL office, ordered me and my daughter to go to see this evaluation, a psych evaluation, which we did. They threatened me. They told me I had to pay the $4,000 up front, or they was going to take my child away from me. So of course I paid the money. The GAL wrote in the, she said that it did happen. Only thing is, she just said kids do stuff like that. On her recommendation, she ordered me to still have residential custody of my daughter, but the father have the right for schooling. And I didn't understand that. I'm like, okay, why would you give the father right for schooling when she resides with me? At the time I stayed close to the school that they placed her in because I had to get my daughter back and forth to school. After that, it went downhill. The GAL kept wanting me to go here. They wanted me to wake my daughter up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take her to a school that was like an hour away from me, and pick her up after school. And every time I'm thinking I'm getting my daughter back, he ordered me to do something else. At the time, me and my family, we did a protest in front of the Cook County Public Guardian Office, and a well-known Chicago Sun-Times did an interview on me, and then I did another protest. Another news station, local news, did a report on me. And then in November 2010, I was told my daughter was coming back home to me and to go place her in the Christian school that I picked, and which I did. And I met with the Public Guardian Office, which is, his name is Robert Harris. He's over the Public Guardian Office. He assured me my baby was coming back. But when I went to court in January, they kept her, and I lost sole custody of my daughter this year.